right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is another episode of the Grunge Bible Podcast. This is episode 267, as the kids would say.
Fuck that.
267. My name is Ethan Shalloway. I'm joined by Chris Salona. And this is the Grunge Bible Podcast. And we are excited to be here.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. So thank you all for joining us. Customary to our podcast, the way we like to begin everything is we ask each other how we're doing and do a little check-in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Chris, how are you doing, man?
We're checking in. I am doing well over here in Rhode Island. We're recording this on May the 3rd. This episode's coming out on May the 4th. A little Sunday morning typical time slot that we've been rolling with to record this podcast. But
always has been.
It always has been, man. It was a decent week. Nothing super remarkable. Pretty low key weekend as well, honestly. So, yeah,
Nice.
I don't really have much in terms of things that I've done.
I feel like you've earned it.
Beers with the fellas. Yeah, it was a tough stretch the last 7 weeks.
All right, we're banned.
Yeah, we're done.
We're banned.
This is the last Grunge Bible Podcast episode. Somebody's going to come in and shoot both of us right now, and that'll be it. It was pretty good. Deload week in the gym is complete, and I feel nice and spry. I just registered and signed up for the next competition. July 19th, I think, is the next one. So we're closing in, and it's going to be good. But aside from that, things are pretty solid. What about you? How are you doing?
Yeah, dude, I'm doing really well. I had a busy week. I actually set a new PR for the garage door company.
You're goddamn right you did.
We worked all 5 days, and we clocked in at 46 hours for the week. 4 builds, did a lot on my own. He was doing some stuff, and
Nice.
so big week in the work week, and had a track meet to coach, and then had a big family event last night. A lot of sports. This is like one of my a little underrated stretch of sports for me with the NHL and the NHL, NBA playoffs. Golf is kicking up, like we had the Masters, but with the two playoffs going on.
And our baseball team's firing their managers.
Yeah. Our baseball teams stink, but it's nice when the beginning 2 rounds, there's just so many playoff games, and playoff hockey's awesome. I like the NBA, so I enjoy watching all that. So there's just 8 games on between the two sports every night, and it's been holding me over big time. It's been a lot of good series.
There's always something going on when you get home. You turn on that dial. And,
it's nice because you have a really busy day or something. You don't know what to do, and you can always fall back on sports. We're big sports guys, so
that we are. Man.
It's very comforting. And I think we'll do a little bit more sports talk today.
I think so. So this is if you've clicked into the episode, you'll see that this is a Q&A. First Q&A that we've done, I think, since November. And we have been absolutely hammering album reviews here on the Grunge Bible Podcast. So we're taking a break from that. But I am very pleased to report that April of 2026 was the best month that the Grunge Bible Podcast has had in over 2 years. I only have 2 years of monthly data available to me, and April of 2026 is the best month in that 2-year span. So feeling pretty happy about that. So I want to extend a large thank you to everybody that's checked in. People really seem to dig, in particular, the Siamese Dream episode and the Songs for the Deaf episode that we did during the month of April. So
nice.
Very grateful that everybody seems to dig what we're doing. But long stretch there, and this week's kind of we take a breather and we just answer some questions and banter a little bit. So
it's our deload week.
Yeah, exactly. We got a deload. It's been a tough run lately.
It's in our deload week.
Yeah, we're gonna take it easy for all us sinners out there. In the words of the stranger from The Big Lebowski. So that's pretty good. If you're joining us, we want to obviously extend once again our gratitude to you for clicking on us and spending some time wherever you might be. We would also like to thank everybody that supported us along the way with their dollars in addition to their time. And if you're interested in supporting us financially, you can purchase merchandise at the link in the show notes. Or you can join our Patreon, which is also at the link in the show notes. We have a $2, $5, and $10 tier. You know the deal by now. join at any of those 3 levels, or join at any other level that you feel comfortable with and that's sustainable. And if you join as a top tier member, I'll say your name every single week until you decide to stop giving us money. So I'd like to thank the top tier supporters. We have Abraham and Frank at the top, followed by the Cracker Man. In addition, I would like to thank Fuck Soup, Carlene Salona, Jamie Lynn, The Blue Owl, Doug Endy, What the Fuck is Up Denny's, Black Hole Sean, Nikki 6, Seattle 4 Fanboy from New Jersey, Eddie Vedder got me through my second divorce, Sherry Matthews, Gochu John, Russell, King Buzzo stole my hair, The Michael Dooley Project, A Bit Dusty, Ultra Mega OK, Heidi in Chains, Chris Buckley, and Looking California, Feeling Minnesota. Thanks, gang. Appreciate all of your support. To all a good night.
Like I said, if you want Chris to say your name, join in. And I'm going to go back to one of our original call to actions, and that was, you spend money in a lot of different ways throughout the week. You basically lose money. I mean, now gas is so high. Why don't you just substitute a tank of gas, or substitute that cup of coffee for just paying us for a month? One shitty cup of coffee a month could get you, basically. Well, depending on what coffee you get.
Well, because here's the thing. I mean, all the big coffee shops, private equity is taking over all those coffee shops. So the price is going up, the quality's going down. Yeah. You buy a large cold brew at Dunkin', it's like $6, it's like $6, $7, or $8. I couldn't do it.
And that's Dunkin',
Yeah, I mean, Dunkin'. It sucks, and you're pissed off because the straw breaks, and then you spill coffee in your cup holder. Here, we're not going to do any of that to you. We're just going to come to you 4 times a month or 5 times a month, depending. With a good podcast episode, and it's going to be cheaper for you in the long run, and you're going to enjoy it more.
He said $2 is the lowest tier. That's 50 cents an episode, maybe even less if we go 5.
It'd be hard pressed to find a beer for $2.
Oh yeah, so it's just, in this economy, this is the best use of your money.
I agree. Yeah, and the stock market's so volatile too right now that you don't want to invest in that. Obviously, you want to invest in this.
In us. Yeah, exactly.
Consistent returns here.
Right. We're big stock people, and we're good stock to buy here.
Disclaimer, that was not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. Don't sue me. Thank you. Give us your money. That's excellent. Yeah. Ethan, what do you say we segue forward to this day in music history? And I have one that's not on the list that I would like to start with. And this is for May the 4th. And on this day, May 4th of 1957, John and Elsie Murphy, my grandparents, were married. This is their 69th wedding anniversary today. They were married May the 4th of 1957 when they were 19 and 20 years old, respectively. And we had the privilege of celebrating their anniversary this weekend. We went out to dinner and had a little party gathering situation Saturday evening, and it's really awesome. I mean, that's an incredibly long period of time, and I love them. And I think one of my favorite things about having moved back home 5.5 years ago or so, however long ago it was, is just all the extra time that I've gotten to spend with them. And they're 2 of the most special people in my life. So they don't listen to the podcast, obviously, but they are supportive. They don't know the specifics of kind of what this whole stupid Instagram thing is that I do, but they always ask about it, which is great. And they ask how you're doing, and if we're still doing it and whatnot. So day one supporters right there. So happy anniversary, Nana and Papa.
Happy anniversary, Nana and Papa. That's amazing.
Massive.
I love it, dude. It's a good way to go about stuff. So you don't know the specifics, but you always ask, right?
Well, that's what support is. You don't have to know the specifics. I mean, think of all the people in your life that have supported your javelin career, and they don't know what the hell going on,
Yep, that's a sign of a good parent. Like, whatever they want to do, I don't know what they're doing, but I support it.
Like, I remember my mom would come to some of my powerlifting meets before she actually got into powerlifting herself the last 1.5 years or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. She competed in a mock meet, dude. She's ripping. It's unbelievable. We gotta have her on to talk training, man.
I didn't know this.
I told you. Yeah, man. So it's funny. She started going to the gym.
This is a huge development.
Yeah, and this is important. I'll talk about this. So she started going to the gym probably a couple of years ago after she had her surgery and recovery from the cancer that she had. And she started getting active, and then her trainer was programming, box squats and stuff like that, and different powerlifting adjacent things. And she knew that I had done it, and she was like, I'm kind of interested. And I was like, Mom, like, you should do it. Like, worst case, you try it, you hate it, you don't have to do it again. But she loves it. So she competed at a mock meet, not last weekend, but the weekend prior. And dude, she pulled like 250 pounds. Like dude, it's awesome. It's unbelievable, and she's got
that might be more than me.
Yeah, dude. Like we got her set up with like the lifting shoes, the lever belt. Like she's an absolute crusher. So she's gonna compete later this fall, I think in October or November for keeps this time, and she's loving it in the same way why we love sports too, participating in them. There's such a great community that she's become embedded in, and dude, it's absolutely awesome. It's kick ass.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's just it's just another perfect example of why I love sports, why I love competition.
Yeah,
like
and any time in your life you can decide to do something and do it, you know, and that's the really, really cool thing.
When someone feels inspired and gets inspired by something, you gotta bottle it up and keep it, and and just it's just such a beautiful thing. That's amazing. That's the best news I've heard all week. So
yeah, it's pretty great.
Let's go, Carlene.
Yeah, man, crushing it.
Huge development here.
Massive.
All right, shoot, I gotta get my mom into it,
dude.
Carol,
imagine, man, Carol just ripping deads off the floor. That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy. Awesome. Oh, cool. Okay. You gotta focus up here. Back to this day in music. I got
less
something
cool.
else. Yeah, a little less cool. In 1970, the Ohio National Guard shoots and kills 4 students at Kent State University, prompting Neil Young to write Ohio. Yeah, this one, dude. This is one of those. I feel like this comes up.
Pretty
a few times.
Yeah.
A few times a year or something. So it's good to always honor it. And I think we've talked about this for sure. I mean, I know that you have definitely. I mean, this is
well, there's the Graham Nash story about his recollection of how Neil recorded this, and he saw it on the news, and he went into the woods, and he came back an hour later, and he had the song, and they had just put out Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young had just put out "Teach Your Children," which was Graham's song, and there's this great interview where Graham's like, you know, the people were angry now, and we had to get this song out now, and the record label didn't want them to put it out. They wanted "Teach Your Children" to kind of have its run, and Graham was like, it was my song, "Teach Your Children," and I didn't care. Like we killed that single stone dead, and we put Ohio out immediately. I mean, this happened May 4th of 1970. They recorded it in May, and it was out at the beginning of June. And it's one of the greatest protester, social commentary, political commentary songs ever. And this will be 56 years since it happened. So probably post that song on the page on the anniversary there. So unbelievable song too. Just from a musical perspective too, it's a fantastic song. So moving forward to this day in 2012, MCA of the Beastie Boys passes away from cancer at age 47. And I tend to post the Beastie Boys from time to time on the page, because I feel like if you were a child of the 90s, I think everybody that was there at that time thinks the Beastie Boys are really cool, because they are. They're absolutely awesome. Even the 80s too, man. I mean, the 80s and 90s. What a great band. So we remember the great MCA today on the anniversary of his passing.
Yeah. Hey man, yeah, Beastie Boys are badass. They always have been.
They're fucking cool.
They have such an allure to I don't know, to me when I was younger.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Would have been fun to be a part of when
Oh,
I think I really do wish I was born like 10 years earlier to really experience the 90s.
It would be nice.
A little bit more.
Well, because then we could speak about everything that we talk about on the show with an air of superiority that we can't, because we weren't alive.
Which we are reminded, and
we're reminded every day.
But we also always put a disclaimer. And
we're just fans. We're just people. We're not authorities, which we said in the first ever episode that we did, and it remains true today. So
just a random thought before we get into the rest of the pod, because that's what this podcast is going to be, random thoughts. But
it's a deload pod.
Yeah, it's a deload. I really appreciate our check-ins, right, each week. And I have a few friends, now that we're entering into the 30s and you're getting close, dude, it's really getting harder to stay connected with people, because people are having kids.
Yeah.
And once you have a kid, it's like your phone goes off as far as
it's awful. They drop off the map.
I mean, definitely scheduling, it is really hard to anything during the weekday, getting a beer or something. It's just getting harder and harder. I can see where life gets busy, and we're in that spot. Like during the 20s, I think everybody has a lot of mobility and stuff, and we still have mobility, but there's dude, it gets difficult. I can see there's just people. I'm like, wow, how long has it been since I talked to you? And then it's getting harder.
Trying to facilitate a hang with more than 2 or 3 other people, like to get the group together, I feel increasingly like I have to be this military grade logistician to get everybody's schedules lined up
on the books
to find the time. Dude, it's so tough. We're encountering these issues time and time again.
Every day.
It's really they're throwing everything we can handle at us and more.
Yeah.
But that doesn't discourage us. You still got to do it, and you know, it's one of those things that maybe the frequency dies down a little bit, but they're just a phone call away, and if they don't answer, they'll call you back. And that's happened time and time. It's funny. I used to be unbelievably good with getting back to people pretty immediately, and I didn't understand my friends that weren't good at that. Yeah. And then now, you know, I'll get a call, you know, like Monday night when I'm getting ready to go to bed. I'm like, I can't do this right now. And I'll call first thing Tuesday. I'll shoot them a call back, and I forget. And then a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, and then I put reminders in my phone like, hey, you got to call this person back. And you're only as good as your best reminder. And sometimes it's sometimes you miss, but the intentions are good.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like if it gets to like 7:30 or something. Unless we're like dire need to talk about something, I'm like, I missed my opportunity. I can't call Chris. Because like I know, not because I think you won't pick up, because I don't want to.
We feel the same way about this.
Like I'm just like, I'll talk to him tomorrow. Like I'm gonna give him tonight. I gotta, even though like I have, because usually it's like I have a 25-minute drive back from the weight room at like 8 o'clock.
Our last windows of communication time is the time that you leave training home, and the time that I leave training. And if we don't connect, then
if it lines up, great, because then we can pass 25 minutes together. Right. But if it doesn't, it's like he's already.
When I get home,
like,
that's it.
The phone lines turn off, man. Like it's simple as that.
It's like back in the day when television wasn't 24 hours and all the cable stations would go off the air, or the satellite stations would go off the air at like 1 o'clock until 6 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was. The phone lines closed. But hey, struggling to balance all of this and trying your hardest to keep up with people is a sign of a full life. So I'm grateful for the struggle.
Amen.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Well, what do you say? Well, we have a concert situation that we should talk about as well.
Yeah.
Should we do that now before we get into the questions?
Let's do it. Yeah, we got a few current events that are still, developing.
I'll set the scene here. Once again, a sign of a full life and a life well lived is whether or not my friends have met you and whether or not your friends have met me. Our respective friend groups know who you are, and your respective friend groups know who I am. And yesterday afternoon, I was with my family, and I got a text from my really, really good friend Tom, brother Tom, and in the group chat of the four guys that we all go to shows together and we hang out all the time. And he sent a screenshot, and he was like, "This is specifically for brother Chris." And I didn't see what it was because I was busy, and then I pulled my phone out and I saw the screenshot, and it was Delicate Steve at the Ocean Mist Beach Bar in Rhode Island, June 26th or something. It's a Wednesday night, and I just about shit a brick because obviously you're the biggest Delicate Steve fan that I know, and he knows that you're a Delicate Steve fan.
This is awesome.
So I immediately texted you. I was like, dude, this is not a drill. Delicate Steve is coming to Rhode Island this summer. Like, the fellas are going to go. I'm already buying 2 tickets because you're going to come up for it. And I'm sure it must have been quite the nice surprise to get that text from me.
It was. And then knowing the backstory that Tom was the one who initiated this is amazing.
Yeah.
And I saw the text. I was like, last night I was in the middle of like I said, a big musical experience and watching a
Man
play.
of many talents.
Yeah, so the phone was like on airplane mode, and during intermission, I clicked open and I saw it was like, "This is not a drill," and I was like, "Delicate Steve." I was like, and you're like, "It's right by my house," and I was like, "Oh, if it's right by your house, like I know you."
That's a little exaggeration. So it's okay. It's like 45 minutes away, but it's in my state.
Okay.
And you are going to fucking love Ocean Mist, dude. It's the best beach bar in the world.
This is awesome. Yeah, and I'm like. Immediately, like, I was like, lock me in. I was like, and I already know you. I already knew that this was like, you probably already had tickets and stuff, and it was just a formality to ask. But I was like, whatever it takes. And then I realized that it was Wednesday, and I was like, whatever it takes, and it worked out well. Because I know I'm going to be available. And I'm going to be around PA at least on a Wednesday. So, right. Yeah, this is going to be awesome because I've been planning or been scheming for a couple concerts or something to get me to up to Rhode Island. So this is great because you're going to get to experience. We've experienced Delicate Steve together
because you saw him at Johnny Brenda's in Fishtown, right? How big of a venue is that? Like
very
couple hundred people, like 200 maybe.
Less, very small.
Because Ocean Mist is like that too. Maybe
they probably
200.
fit 100. Yeah, they definitely fit 100 people in there. But like, when I say it's like it's really small. It's really tiny.
It's gonna be sick.
Because like the layouts, the bar like takes up the whole place, and then there's like a little stage, and there's a little balcony. But it's very small. Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to that. Another thing, these things pop up without a moment's notice.
It's Wednesday, and I'm gonna get up there. Obviously, like what am I gonna do? Rush back for just Friday? I don't even work Friday, so
bend it a little bit. You got a place to stay.
So it's gonna be one of those like you're gonna work from home / take off or whatever. Yeah. We're gonna go lift. We're gonna we're gonna do the Rhode Island thing. Like it's gonna be one of those weekends, and I'm extremely excited.
Dude, we get to go to McSean's. It's gonna be absolutely incredible.
Exactly. There's a few things to check off, and it's great because I feel like there's a lot. Our friends are pretty connected. There's a ton of like I was out in Iowa State, and Noah's like, we gotta call up Chris. We gotta FaceTime him. And I didn't even like. He said that. You know what I mean? Like our friends, like they know, and it's so.
Well, this happens. Is like the final. My guys, like Matt, Tom, and my friend Burrows. The four of us, we go to shows together, and all of them at one point or another, they're like, yo, like you got to get Ethan up here to come to a show or something with us. And I was like, say no more.
Yeah. And we're just waiting for the right. And this is
perfect.
This is perfect. So I'm extremely excited.
It's going to be great.
I can't wait to tell my boss, Greg, be like, yeah, man, I'm out.
I'm out.
Like, I know I'm taking, but like, he gets it. And, at some point, like, I try to have all my bosses understand that, like, I enjoy working for them and I enjoy making money. But like,
when you hear the siren sound call to you. When I have
to go, like, at the end of the day, like, I don't have a family. I don't have this, like, I'm still trying to live my life. And, sometimes I have to take off. I'm not trying to work for a living, I'm trying to live for a living.
Trying to live for a living. Absolutely, brother.
Yeah, so like, if I need to, the way I'll probably play it, I'll probably try to do something Wednesday during the day with him. Work, so then I don't work Friday, so I only need to take off Thursday. So I just make sure he plans something light for Thursday, and I can just dip.
Absolutely.
But it's getting into we're getting into the summer, so who knows like what his schedule is. Like I know he's gonna be like, oh, I'm gone that week. I need you to work. And I'm like,
well, too bad.
Yeah. I'm already booked, dude. He locked me in, dude.
Yeah, I got to you before he did.
Exactly. Pro tip, like the lock him in is such an important thing. If you see, like, this is how you make plans. And I remember Coach Wood, he told me like one time his friends, they were like, hey man, like there was basically a concert or festival or something. And they're like, hey, it's in Minnesota. And he was in Lexington. And he's like, oh man, like, it's like, that sounds fun. I don't know. And he's like, too bad, dude. He's like, we already bought your plane ticket. Like, you're locked in. And they're like, dude. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, dude, they locked me in. He's like, they bought the plane ticket. They locked me in.
What can you do at that point?
What can you do? Like, I'm like, dude, Chris already bought me a ticket.
I already bought the ticket.
He locked me in. Like, like, dude, he locked me in.
Oh yeah. So. That's going to be a good one. I can't wait to go to that one and talk about it on the show come June or July, whenever we end up talking about that one. So let's get into some questions here. We have a bunch of them. We're going to give priority to the Patreon supporters because we put a call out, and there's a very important question that comes from What the Fuck Is Up Denny's that I would like to begin with. Oh, excuse me. We'll get to What the Fuck's Up Denny's question, but I want to lead off with King Buzzo Stole My Hair, his question. And the question is, at what age or what moment do you think you will consider sitting down at a gig? I was in my mid-30s and got covered in piss at an Oasis gig on a Wednesday night, and that was the moment I was done with standing.
Hold up. I need the piss. I can't get over covered in piss. Did he piss himself?
He clarified it. Okay,
so, I'm sure he does. But.
So the urine thing happens a lot at UK gigs with certain types of bands when instead of using the toilets, people in the crowd will use the plastic bottles they're drinking from, piss in them, and then hurl them into the crowd. So I have not been covered in piss at a show. Neither my own piss nor anyone else's piss.
It's been a long time since I've been covered in piss.
Thankfully. Summer of 2006, it was a tough one. I'll never forget it. And nothing that traumatic
they were doing
has happened.
It in Texas.
They're all in love with dying. So I'll answer first. That would get me to consider it. But I think that would get me to consider it at certain types of shows. But I don't want to give it up, man. I like standing. I prefer to stand at shows because you're in charge of yourself. You can get as close as you want, and I like being close. I like being in the middle of things. I think for me, the thing that would get me to reconsider it is just from a physical standpoint, or if the bands that I like to be super, super close. Because being close at like a Delicate Steve show is fine, but like being close in the pit at another show is another story. So, we all reach a point in time where we're told that we can no longer play the children's game of being in the pit at shows. Mm-hmm. And I haven't been told yet. Some of us are told when we're 18. Some of us are told when we're 40. But we're all told. I haven't been told yet. Getting covered in not my own urine would definitely get me to consider it. I hope the day is far away, but I'm closer to the end than I am the beginning of my time, right in the thick of things at shows. Yeah. So we'll see. What do you think, Ethan? 'Cause I feel like you're. It's not going to be easy for you to give up this ghost.
No, definitely depending on the band. Like, I mean, there are times where like I would so the Jerry Cantrell show, like it was a theater setting because it was
at the Ryman, right?
Yeah, Ryman. Like we had seats, so like it was tempting because I'm standing and we're standing in rows. So like when there are seats, like I mean you feel like you want to sit down a little bit, but if everybody's standing, like you got to stand. And obviously I would have loved to be in the pit, but I didn't have the opportunity.
Well, there's a couple ways to think about this. Like, if the entire venue is seats, right? Like, I will sit down at different points in the show, obviously, but I think the question that it's going to be impossible for me to give up is when you have one of those venues where there's a GA section standing in the pit, and then there's like maybe a balcony situation where there's seats. I'd like to think that there's never going to be a time that I get a balcony seat. I'm just not interested in it,
dude. You know what it is, Chris?
Yeah.
It really does feel like the cucks are in the balcony watching
exactly. Like, which there's a lot of people that are into that.
And there's nothing wrong. I mean, it's a big year. Like watching
the command center,
dude. Like
monitoring, and
especially when you're elevated and you're up there and they're kind of like on the rail
and
they're watching the kids have fun.
And you're out of the splash zone there too. I mean, nobody's gonna hit you with piss.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a couple levels to this, and I don't know if I'm ready to move up to the cuck level.
My FOMO would be too much standing up there. Like I think if I go to a pop punk show, I'm not going to be in the balcony. Like I have no interest in being in the balcony.
The PD show that I went to in Nashville, there was a balcony, and it was all kind of GA. So I bounced around. I was because when it's like free moving and there wasn't a ton of people, I was like, I kind of want to check out this venue, check out all the, and it was what are they called? The bowling, the Nash. The bowl,
whatever it's called.
I can't remember. Yeah, but they have bowling lanes like there, which is pretty sick.
That's pretty good.
They can play next to it. So anyway, I went up there to check it out, and like I think I sat down for the opener and stuff, and like it was really cool. But I was like, I want to be down there, so I went and got into it for PD, obviously. It just seems a little elite right now for me, and but obviously it depends on the band. Like if I'm just coming along to support my friend's favorite band or something, I mean they're gonna want to be in it. But like if it's for whatever reason, if there's an opportunity to sit, I think I'm at the age where like if the band is not like my
feels
my
right,
number, if it's not my if it's not in my top tiers or something like that, like. If it's a weekday, I'll do it.
That's true.
If I'm drunk, I probably won't. But if I'm not, if I'm doing one of those like sober shows,
we all have to do from time to time.
Yeah, which you all have to do time to time, like So that's a great question, but like,
we're not there yet. We'll let you know when we are.
But I'm definitely like, if I get there and there are some seats available and stuff, and it just depends how I'm intrigued at this point. I'm intrigued.
You're chair curious.
All right. Did you have another one you wanted to? You said.
I mentioned what the fuck's up, Denny's question, so we'll take care of that one as well. So he writes in and said, "When will you dedicate an episode to the shutdown shows, the workings behind the scenes, how you pick the lineup, personal stories of the artist, and a look back / fast forward of their stories? You could even have them on as a guest to discuss. I'll probably take more than just a single episode with schedules, so it could be a series itself." So a background here, what the fuck up, Denny's is referring to during the beginning of the coronavirus coronavirus pandemic in the spring and summer of 2020, we converted Friday and Saturday and Sunday nights on the Grunge Bible Instagram page to a concert space for virtual shows, and we put a call out to any band that had shows canceled because of COVID to record a small 10 to 25-minute set, send it in to us, and we would post it kind of as I think it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern or something. And just allow that as a place for bands to play a virtual show. And we ended up doing almost 30 of them, I think. Yeah. We ran it for a pretty 10 or 12 weeks. It was a long time, maybe longer than that, because I think we ended up kicking it down to just Friday and Saturday nights because nobody wants to go to a Sunday show. And we had a lot of bands cycle through, and it's interesting just thinking back to it, some of the bands that are no longer active, or some bands that have moved on to new heights, and bands, and people that have gone on to different projects and whatnot. So it would be cool. Enough time has passed that it's a good time to do a good retrospective. And I have all the data somewhere in the spreadsheet where we were organizing this whole thing. So that's something I would love to do and look back and maybe check in with some of the bands that we had on to see how they're doing, because we've lost contact with quite a few of them, but there's some of them that we're still up to date with. But that was one of the cooler things that I think we've done with the Grunge Bible page, and it served a purpose at a time, and it provided an outlet for some bands to play, and also a conduit for a lot of people that followed the page to get plugged into some bands that they might not have known prior to it.
Yeah, really, whenever we talk about it comes up, and less frequent now that's longer, but it was such a cool thing to have we just had this idea, and we
it was 6 years ago now. Yeah.
And pulled it off, and it was prior to the podcast.
Yeah.
And it is a really cool thing, and obviously I guess the circumstances that it evolved from are not cool, but
right.
It's definitely it was an interesting time for social media and music. So I'm glad that we were a part of it, and it would be cool to do something. I don't know if it would. I mean, it probably wouldn't hit the same or something, but at the same time, people stream and people like to watch, man. So,
it's all the rage these days. And from a personal standpoint, I'm really proud of the fact that I was able to help put that together along with you during what was the worst and lowest period of my entire life to date. Still able to do something positive, which is good. So yeah, it would be cool to take a trip down memory lane and reach out to some of these bands. So that's a great idea. So thank you. What the fuck is up, Denny's?
All right. I have a question here. I like this question. If you could go back 10 years and show yourself any artist, song, or album you've discovered then, who and what it would be?
So I'm assuming any band that we've discovered recently, if we could go back in time and get plugged into them earlier, kind of thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
So if you could go back and be there, either pretty much at the Genesis or something. In the beginning. Oh man, that's a really good question. There's a couple ways to approach it. You could do maybe bands that have stopped playing in the 10 years since. Right. You could go back in time and catch one of their shows. So Soundgarden immediately comes to mind. Yep. I would love to have had the opportunity to see them their last tours, the Temple show. But then there's the other side of the coin where it's bands that maybe got their start 10 years ago that have made quite a bit of headway, or that you have such a relationship with that you just wished you could have been plugged in at the time. I talk about from time to time that I missed the boat on Modern Baseball when they were touring and when they were active, and 10 years ago would have put us right at the end of them, to have the opportunity to see them live. They come to mind. All the pop punk bands that I've gotten acquainted with over the last 7 or 8 years and grown to really love, would have loved to be back then. Even Phoebe Bridgers, Julian Baker, that kind of stuff comes to mind as well for me. So it's hard to kind of nail down just one. Is there somebody for you that jumps out that you would have loved to go back in time and get plugged into? I mean, 10 years is almost not enough time.
Right. If it's 20, it changes a lot, or even 30, obviously.
But it's interesting that, I've thought about this quite a bit, I think, is when you decide to invest in a band, and when that means, and sometimes it's if a band makes it big and you're I've listened to them, how do you claim them? If you were there at the beginning, do you need to have went to a show to have the badge of honor? And it's kind of like stocks, where it's just you meet a band, you're like, man, they're not big enough. I'm not gonna like invest all this time. They may not pan out, or I'm gonna do it anyway because whatever. And so it's funny how you decide to like your involvement. Like, all right, I'm gonna commit myself to this band.
Yeah.
So
stake your claim.
Yeah, like 10 years ago. It's tough because like there's so many bands that pop up.
Right.
I mean, like Goose is a good one. Like, I mean, they kind of like made it big at 21, and like I guess they were playing in 2018 and 17.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I guess it would have been cooler to be back then, but just all the same, I mean, it's been 7 years or something like that. So I feel like I was you feel like you were there. You got into it right when it started. So I don't know. I feel like there's not many that I really feel like I missed in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And then some bands go so fast that it's like, was there even like an early entry space besides like unless you're regional with them, like it's not really, the other side, this Geese, the Geese thing, like, it seemed like everybody kind of got there at the same time and it was the same release. So it's not like, I mean, yeah, they were playing for a few years before, but I mean, yeah, that, I get that would be a good example. I don't know when they started. I can't remember, but I remember it was like more than
like 2018 or something.
Probably similar. So there's a lot, and the history of bands if you look up Wikipedia or something, it's like, oh, they've been around for 10 years, and it's like,
longer than you would think.
Well, usually it's like, no, they haven't. I mean, that's probably what they tell, but they probably weren't like serious for like 3 of those years, and then they were just like jamming or
accessible in terms of they weren't touring or anything, kind of thing too. So
yeah, I'm totally like I'm
good
definitely
one to ponder.
I'm blanking as far. There's always like the bands that I would say like I wish I got into them sooner. Like even like say the Front Bottoms or Dirty Heads. Like I got into them early, so it's good. But it's like there's definitely like last night I drove home and I had a long drive with nothing to think about and nothing to talk about. And I listened to Phantoms of Summer or Home, the Phantom of Summer by Dirty Heads, and it's an acoustic album that came out in 2013. My freshman year. They had 2 albums come out. They had Sounds of Change, which came out in like the summer in like June, and then the Home Phantom came out in like March. So 2 albums like really close. One was like acoustic, and this album is so good. Like I mean, I listened to it front to back. It's like, I mean, it's I was like thinking, this is like a one of my favorite albums of all time for sure.
Yeah.
Like and it's just like time and place when I listened to it. I remember Drew. Like we were really into them. I remember him being like super excited about this album and, going to Tower A and listening to it together and having this other album come out. And we did the whole like concert run. And now like so bands change all the time. And you see this with all your favorite band. And Dirty Heads, like, they've changed. Like Dirty Heads and 21 Pilots, I see it with like Front Bottoms. These are some of my pillars of bands that I like. I just really listen to, and like I still like them. The Dirty Heads, like they were reggae. They smoked a lot of weed. They were like they were rapping, doing all this stuff, and like now they have kids and they're just older and they're still playing, and the music is still good. They're playing the old stuff, but like the energy that you played when you were in your 20s or early 30s, without any, you're on the scene, but without any like restrictions, and you're still living that life. Like the music, everything is just a little different.
Oh yeah.
And like I would have it's like, it's not that I would have got into them a little bit earlier, but I wish I would have enjoyed the time a little bit more. Yeah. And I enjoyed it like about as full as you could, but I just like, you just want to go back to certain times and like, man, this band was like, for that run, dude, I mean, it's like sports teams. It's like, the San Antonio Spurs, like their little run. Like you had to be there. Like, and like, even when you were there, you're just like, there's a longing for it. So this question, like there's a ton of bands where like, of course you're always like, man, I wish I was there sooner. But like, really, you just wish the time period was longer that you had with them.
Exactly.
That was like really special.
Yeah.
And there's a few bands where like, I just like pop punk bands, emo, or it's like, it's different when you're in your 20s, or like the reggae. And like, just like, it's just different energy when you're in your 20s. Like I can see it now, my energy with like normal stuff and everything. Like I was just a different person during my 20s.
Oh yeah.
And like, I just long for that no matter who it is. So any band, it could be any band. Like I just like, man, I wish I saw them when they were in their, in their 25 to 30 range.
Absolutely.
Or younger.
It's a good question. Next question here. This comes from the Cracker Man, one of our top supporters. Who are your top 3 people you would like to interview on the podcast and why? And I will just completely off the top of my head pick 3. Matt Cameron, Jerry Cantrell, and Dan Campbell of the Wonder Years would be my trifecta. The why, Matt Cameron, he's had his fingerprints on just about everything in this genre that we discuss. And I think he's just a really interesting person and one of the most talented drummers of the last 50 years of music. Jerry Cantrell, the riff lord, and we've gleaned a lot into kind of his process and the headspace that he created a lot of his music from, both as a solo artist and with Chains, and I think that would be really interesting to dive into. And then Dan Campbell from the Wonder Years, just because they're probably my favorite band of all time, and I've gotten so much from their music and his lyrics that it would be interesting to have conversations just about that process, and also just how he tours relentlessly and how he continues to create music. That's always fascinating to me, the process that goes into all that stuff. So that would be my back of the napkin 3.
Yeah, Jerry Cantrell and Matt Cameron's that's kind of, they've been on our list. We've talked about them. They'll definitely be on my list. And similar to Dan Campbell, I've been thinking about this in the last month. Isaac Brock, no doubt, would be I just the interview with him would just be something special.
Totally.
And his music has changed. It's really interesting seeing the change in their music to the albums, and kind of it's the same feelings but way different sounds that they're doing. And I really appreciate it. So Isaac Brock would be amazing. Honestly, I thought about this listening to the album last night. Duddy B, the rhythm guitar, so that one of the 2 main guys for Dirty Heads would be so fun because he's affected me in a ton of ways. And I was like, man, I would love to talk about basically, because then we could talk about those years that I saw them, and hopefully it'd be really nostalgic for them, and maybe a little bit off for. I think people would still anybody would enjoy a good interview, but it wouldn't be grunge related. But
that's all right. It doesn't have to be.
There's bands the ones that really impact you, like a Dan Campbell and stuff. I just really am longing to talk to some of these people. It would just be so fun to be yeah, dude, you're really important to my musical life. So let's talk about it, and maybe they'll be into it.
Yeah, I agree.
So good question for sure.
Definitely a good question. Do you have one, Ethan?
Yeah, let's. No, but I have all the lists right here, so I can quick pick one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's pick one.
This is an interesting question, and it says, does grunge exist without Dinosaur Jr.?
Oh man, somebody's been into the weeds here a little bit.
Yes, I wonder what prompted this. If it was anything to do with any conversations they've heard from us, or if they're just a huge Dino Jr. and they just revere their influence on the band. Obviously, this genre would exist without
the
probably
trap
most of them.
Yeah, there's a trap in this question in the sense that the trap is thinking about it too hard, which would lead you to say no, it wouldn't exist. But yeah, it would absolutely exist without them.
The trap is thinking that the bands are that important. Better question: does grunge exist without Nirvana?
No.
I think yes.
The music exists, but the cultural phenomenon does not exist, in my opinion.
Yeah, but what's
grunge?
Exactly. Do you not think that someone else would have took that spot and did that? It happened to be Kurt, and he was first.
I think it was only them, honestly. I don't know, had Nirvana never existed, or had they never got off the ground and they broke up after Bleach or something.
Never mind. Mind Nirvana.
If Nevermind never happened, I don't know that. I don't think we would be sitting here talking about it, because I just don't think it would have gotten quite as popular, because there was just something about Nirvana and that specific record that propelled it that I don't think the conditions were right for any of the other albums from 90, 91, 92 to take that place. And they all obviously found, Dirt, Bad Motorfinger, Super Unknown, 10, obviously, they reached unbelievable heights, but I think there's just something about the ethos of this genre that wouldn't have existed without Nevermind.
It's true. They definitely have the, I don't know. Yeah. They have the title, or they have the influence.
The bands would exist, but I don't think grunge as a cultural phenomenon would have reached the heights, or I don't think it would have had the staying power without Nirvana. So.
But it's one of those things. Don't you think that and this is tough because we weren't there, right? But it's almost like everybody was looking for someone to be Kurt, right? Yeah. And they didn't know it was going to be Kurt, but they were looking for this. So
he was the barometer by which everyone else was measured that came from that time. And if you take that out, I mean, those people and those bands and those songs still exist, but I don't think people talk about them the same way without Nirvana.
Yeah.
I think they would have talked about them the exact same way without Dinosaur Jr. to answer the question. Great band. Jay Mascis had his influence on a lot of people from that time period and recorded with a lot of them. He was involved in some of Mark Lanigan's stuff, and he's all over the place. But yeah, grunge would have existed, because I don't think of Dino Jr. as a grunge band per se.
Right.
They just come from the time period. But
yeah, alt rock.
Yeah,
alternative rock.
Yeah, the big umbrella, the big tent of alt rock. So that's a good question to ponder. Another good question here, something that we've talked about. This comes from Plush Mike over on Patreon. Have you guys ever considered doing an episode together from a remote location, maybe outside a festival or a venue where a band you dig is playing, or possibly a cool bar? And the Grunge Bible podcast live podcast is definitely on my list of things that I think would be really cool to do. And I would like to do it at some point. But the whole point of the live podcast is to have an audience, and I don't know that people would come. That's the thing. We could set up anywhere and do it. We set up in a park and do it.
Yeah, that's the tough thing, because we have talked about this, and we've kind of we got 20% down the road of ideas, I guess. Yeah. And
there would have to be a unifying event that we would kind of saddle on to, like a Pearl Jam show in a big city where we know a lot of people that know the page and the podcast would be at, if we wanted the live audience component.
We put bands on that. We put a show on ourselves that have bands there that can pull an audience, and basically just kind of jump in there. If we do just a solo pod, we just need to change our expectations. All right, if we get 20, because if we get 20 people and it doesn't cost us anything to talk, that's fantastic. That's what we're doing. Yeah. So maybe the Ocean Mist bar is where we.
Oh, dude, I think that's not outside of the realm of possibility.
How many podcasts have we done in person? One in California, maybe two.
Couple in Pennsylvania. Okay, it's less than 10, I think.
I think for sure. That's the thing. We actually haven't done many podcasts together. Yeah. That's where I thought the question was.
When we do, it's pretty great.
Oh, it's awesome. It's so much fun. So, in general, that would be nice to up those numbers. So
totally.
But it's a good question. It's definitely something that would be a lot of fun, and I think we both want to do at some point. But it's how do you know when you're are we ready? Are we gonna have people show up? Or I don't even need to. It's we don't even need a ton of people to show up, but logistic wise,
need a space to do it, and
what's a cool space?
There's a production component too that comes into it that I don't have the chops for.
Yeah.
We would.
It seems like
need a camera.
Yeah, we need a camera. I think we could get a camera.
Yeah, we need a camera.
Oh man.
That's funny. That's a good one.
All right, let's see.
I've got one if you don't.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. This is a really good question. You come home from a night out. What is your go-to band or bands to listen to or watch in your inebriated state when you get home? Like a post-game throw on a concert or throw on a record or an album?
This is obviously a mixed bag of what type of emotions am I in? Am I raging drunk? Am I sad drunk? Am I where are we?
Am I happy drunk trying to keep it going with the post game?
Yep. Is the night over? Is the night starting? Yeah. Obviously, we talked about it. Mouse has been a ton of fun to listen to and to come back. Any Woodstocks and I'm thinking. The Grateful Dead is fun to listen to. Getting just honestly any live shows,
Canned
any
Heat,
festival.
Woodstock.
Yeah, Canned Heat, exactly. Yeah. You throw in Canned Heat, dude. We might watch the whole thing.
Front Bottoms.
Yeah, Front Bottoms. There's literally. That's the thing. Literally anything would make us happy if we're together.
I would say the thing for me that most informs the decision is if there's a particular song or band that I heard while I was out that night that sticks in my head. I'm like, oh shit! I can't wait to get home and dig into that a little bit more.
Yeah,
that would inform my decision for sure.
Yeah. So it goes all over the place, as you might have guessed. Here's a good question, Chris.
Yeah.
I don't really know what. It's kind of I guess a metaphor, but. If your eyes are closed and you're buried in your own box, is that freedom or just a different kind of prison?
This has to be a quote or a movie, something or other.
If your eyes are closed and you're buried in your own box, is that freedom or just a different kind of prison?
Well, this is like the isolation versus solitude question. I think it's a different kind of prison. I don't want to be buried in a box.
If your eyes are closed,
But then if your eyes are closed, do you know you're in the box or your eyes are closed?
What if you're in a really terrible situation, you close your eyes and it all goes away?
That's refuge, exactly. Right. It depends on the situation, I guess. I'd prefer to not be trapped in a box with my eyes closed, so I don't want to think too hard about that. That one's going to be my my question. My answer to the question, excuse me.
Wild question.
Yeah.
I like it.
Here's a good one. What is the shoe rotation looking like for this summer? Is it a big Birk summer loading or what? And
always.
Yeah, always Birks, dude. I go from the Blundstones in the wintertime right to the Birks, and that's just about it. So yeah.
I go for like the clog Birkenstocks in the winter to the open-toed Birkenstocks.
I don't have a pair of those. I feel like that'll be the next domino to fall.
Yeah, they're elite. I mean, I've been a Birk guy. Same thing. So back to the question, like, when did you want to get into a band? Like 10 years early. I wish I got into Birkenstocks like 10 years before I did, which is like at 15. Mm-hmm. But like at this point, like I've been into the Birks for like 10 years. So like, you get in when you get in, and then you just hold it, and then all of a sudden you're going to be the old guy at some point.
Exactly.
I definitely like the shoe rotation is pretty minimal. It's either no shoes or I just try not to wear socks during the summer. Best I can if I'm not training.
If I'm not training, exactly, I just throw the Birks on. It's just easiest that way for sure. Absolutely.
All right. A song on traveling, making bonds with new people, knowing fully well you'll lose touch sooner or later, and just enjoying the moment still. A song, is that a question? A song on traveling, making bonds.
Is this they want us to select a song that serves as a soundtrack for like being on the road, like hanging out with people, like that kind of thing that you're never going to see again?
Yeah. So if you had one song to show somebody on a road trip that you think like, and this is a good point as far as like there are songs that you play at a certain time and get cemented. I mean, there's obviously we have a ton of songs from college that like this song, like it means something because of that moment that we played it and they got into it. I mean, I've showed sometimes nothing better than showing somebody a song in that like say Drunken Haze or some special moment, and then like a year later, like dude, like ripping a long drive listening to this, and you're just like,
oh yeah,
nailed it.
Yeah, it's difficult to select one song. Kind of informed by some of the recent trends in the artists that we've been talking about. You can't go wrong with a Petey song like "Lean Into Life" or something. But then Modest Mouse, obviously, "Float On," obviously, "The Good Times Are Killing Me" would be a really good one as well. Yeah. I guess it all kind of depends. Then I mean, you have the other realm where, you could go to like a song like "In Too Deep" by Sum 41. Like that's a classic. That's always a good one. It's difficult to pick just one.
It is. Just
got to go with your gut.
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, and you can go all the way back to classic, or it's kind of fun like when songs are, I don't know, new and stuff, and you want to try to get a hold of them, or just a little bit like unknown. Time Cop is a great travel song, or travel band. Like, and
that's an
really
Ethan song for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know, something that only I would show the other person, I guess.
Yeah. Good question.
I don't want to share my memory with somebody.
It's mine, damn it. Oh man. All right, next question here. If y'all could go back in time and magically date a grunge icon, who and why?
A grunge icon?
A grunge icon.
Okay.
Tad Doyle.
Yeah.
End of subject.
You just don't feel the comfort.
Yeah. But he gives good hugs.
That's amazing, dude. I don't know. Is Pink grunge enough for this?
Pink can be grunge. Gwen Stefani can be grunge too. Yeah. Anybody can be grunge.
Yeah. Anybody can be grunge?
Yeah, why not?
All right, Jennifer Aniston.
Patrick Warburton.
Yeah. Oh man. All right, let's see. What else we got?
We've got a lot of questions here.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh, here's a good one that kind of goes off the back of the Queens album that we did. Do you think that Queens of the Stone Age were the same good band after the absence of Nick, Mark, and Joey? And I think a lot of people consider the Nick Oliveri, Mark Lanigan, Joey Castillo, Dave Grohl era as well as like the best era of Queens of the Stone Age, but I think the entire point of Queens of the Stone Age is that nothing lasts forever in terms of the lineup, and people, especially back then, were always coming in and out. And I don't think it's a comparison game. I think that's an asset of the different time periods, and the project is greater than any one particular person, in my opinion. So there were some great shows and great records that they did with those guys, and Nick Oliveri actually just joined them on stage like last week for the first time since he left the band, which was really, really cool. I think he sang a song or two with them. They did a show out in Joshua Tree or something like that. It was really, really cool. So I don't know. I have caution at kind of comparing and saying that, you know, I think they're definitely still the same great band because the band's evolving over time, and you know that's what bands are supposed to do. You can't stay set in stone, and whether that's the type of music you create, the way that you play it, or the people who are playing it, it's always changing. Because even, you know, you take the same musician and add 20 years to their life, they're not the same person at that point, and you know they're a different musician at that time, and their style changes and their skill grows or it evolves. So I think they've always been great, and I think they're going to stay great as long as they want to continue playing.
Yeah, I definitely like what you said, how the band kind of, I mean, it's like the band's going to change and the music's going to stay the same, or, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know if it's an ode to the name, the Queens of the Stone Age, and it's like, you know, but I think that they're kind of a perfect band to kind of rotate and play the songs and kind of like, and kind of continue on with whoever's in there. It's not like a big deal if one person's different. So
right,
that's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here from our friend Eddie that got me through my second divorce. What is the top 5 number of beers to have? So we'll cut it down. I think we should both make an argument for two of your favorite number of beers to have.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure
five's a lot. I would have to sit and think about it for a while.
Five's that's going to take us. We could do that, but we'd have to drink some beers over it.
Exactly.
I think my favorite, or not my favorite, but I think as I get older, 2 beers, not like as fast as possible, but like you go to the bar, it's like, I'll take a beer, I'll take another beer.
Yeah.
And you get it down quick. Yeah. You hit 2 beers right off the bat, and then you have your third, and you're like good for that hour, right? Yeah. You're gonna get like close to being in the pocket. You're gonna get like enough lubrication that you're good. But like, you know, the first 2, you kind of like, you drink them a little bit faster. Like if you're on lunch, you know, lunch beers, you know, that first one's got, you know, first one goes down quick, and then you get the other one. So if you get two down quick, then you're set.
Yeah.
So that 2 to 3 can be a real nice sweet spot.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing. I was going to key in on not getting the second one down quickly, but having had 2 relatively quickly and having that third one in your hands, like the third beer is a great one. You know, if the tempo's up a little bit, or it'll happen sometimes to the impromptu session, maybe like after a lift or something, after a workout, where it's like, hey, like, you know, let's go out and like have a beer or 2, or kind of unexpected, you run into somebody, you know, when you're out and about, it's like, yeah, I'll stop in for a beer. Maybe like you don't have a bunch of food in you or something like that. Like 3 beers is really, really good. I think seven's a really, really good number. You're kind of on autopilot at that point. Nothing's going to get too out of hand. You know, once you reach double digits, obviously, or even 8 or 9, depending on your situation, then things can kind of get a little iffy.
Always sounds good.
Yeah, you're kind of like white knuckling it a little bit, you know, redlining the engine. But yeah, I think 3. I mean, paying ode to the Queens of the Stone Age song, 3s and 7s. I think 3 is a great number of beer, and 7 is a really, really great number of beers.
Well, it's ode to Tool. I think 46 and 2.
27 and 6 and 4.
Yeah. Well, so the other idea I had is, I think that, I mean, they did the math for us, right? You can buy a 6-pack. So you walk up to your friends and you get 2 6-packs. Yep. Or you go to New York and you go to a hotel and you get a 20. Was it 24 or was it 12?
It was 24, yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good number. We grabbed a 24-pack for the 2 of us.
I'll tell you, man, it feels
But you
really
walk
good.
in with 2 6s, and like you said, you both polish that off, then you go to your thing or whatever, and then that 7th beer that we were just talking about, boom.
I'll tell you, it feels great. Like when you're
really jacked up to drink.
I might have one now. Shit.
It's Sunday, dude. It's perfect.
I'll tell you, like in terms of the number of beers, the quantities that you can purchase, like it feels really damn good to be walking in somewhere with a sixer in your hands.
Exactly.
You have the handle over top.
The art of the
great.
6-pack is definitely being lost
so
when it's a beautiful thing.
Because like they're not expensive. You can split them, and somebody else brings one. You kind of just swap beers a little bit. Sixers are great. Ever since college and like the era after college, like I find myself buying 30s less and less, but like that was a good feeling too. You're walking out of the liquor store, beer store with a 30 rack on your hand, like a boom box on your shoulder. Yeah. That was a great one to have too, because I didn't have the structural integrity of the box. I never handle carried the 30 rack. The top handle that they have, you put it on your shoulder and you walk that thing like it's you raise it up like it's the Stanley Cup or some shit. So yeah, I think that's a good point. The 12 pack, it's fine
for two people. Yeah, it's
at
not
24,
cool.
You should just get the 30, in my opinion.
Yep, 24, you just get 30, even though we didn't do that. But I think if you have a choice between a 12 pack or two sixes, like I think walking double handed is pretty elite. Also
underrated are the 6-packs of the tall boys with the plastic casing around the top. You just like carry it by the finger or something like that. Because obviously, the tall boys more beer.
You're getting your 7th beer in there, no problem.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think 3 and 7, and the bonus answer would be bring a 6-pack or 2, and if everybody brings it, then the harvest is bountiful too. Because the best thing about 6-packs is most of the time that will mean bottles, and it's great drinking beer out of a bottle.
I know, that was my next question: is the preferred method of drinking.
Glass bottle, if it's cold, you can't beat it, in my opinion.
I mean, draft.
Outside of a draft, yeah. I mean, draft. I mean, that's an unassailable king right there. The lines are clean. It's cold. The glass, if the glass was frosted as well, I mean, oh my goodness, that's pretty damn good. Yeah,
it's getting me going here. I mean, the bottles are great, but economically, they're a lot heavier and they're harder to dispose of if you're like, there's a lot more danger involved with having glass. I mean, I've had a few scares with glass bottles.
We've all had a couple of circumstances here, whether they were projectiles that were coming out of our hands at something, or somebody was maybe hit in the head with a bottle by their own hand or somebody else's, or maybe you get in a lot of trouble on the street because you decide to throw a bunch of glass bottles to see how they break.
There's some liability involved with these glass bottles that
the best thing
could be full of signatures. For
you have a bunch of 19-year-olds. Let's give them a bunch of empty glass when they're going to blow like a .23. It's definitely not bad.
In a dirty street of Oakland.
Oh yeah. Hey, it'd be a shame if there was documentary evidence of that. Ethan, there's another question here, which came from the Grunge Bible, the Instagram page broadcast channel. So I put a call out for questions, but then somebody replied to a question, and I'm gonna ask this question, and we can decide in real time if this is something that we want to get into, because I feel like we should talk about it eventually. And there is a question here, and it said, "Why did you guys transfer from Pitt?"
Oh, we can definitely talk about that. I mean, we have talked about that.
Yeah.
Obviously this is like, it's kind of intertwined into our,
it's the origin story of our friendship and of Grunge Bible too.
Yeah. I mean, so the long, short story of it is our throws coach that recruited us, he left for another job. And that was like the biggest thing. It was like, I think Chris and I and the 2 other freshmen that were there, we went to Pitt because of track and field.
Yeah.
I went there because it was like, it's funny, when I chose my school, I definitely chose like what major had like the physical therapy like school attached to it, and Pitt was one of them. I never made it that far.
I was gonna say, we're so discerning with these majors, and neither of us ended the way that we began.
Yeah. So like, you choose kind of a school because of it has that attached to it, but like ultimately we were recruited by this man named Chip Brundage.
Yeah.
And he was a firecracker.
Future podcast guest, by the way.
100%. You guys will love him. And we were young, impressionable men, and he was like, he was the perfect guy for 1, recruiting us, sales, and then 2, getting us to rally around an idea. And then like when he left, he was like, "You guys should leave too." And we were like, "Of course we should." Of course. Yeah, like why would we ever stay without you? So like, but it's true. Like once he left, it was like, okay, I came here because of this. We both were far away from our family. Right. And although we both went farther away from our family, it was one of those things that was like, yeah, like I'm far away. Like need to make the right choice here. And you're just young, and it just felt like the right decision. I mean, there's a ton of things that there's a lot more to the story.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Our coach was leaving. Our event coach butted heads with the head coach at the time, constantly. And the head coach didn't do right by us, and the university didn't do right by us either, because they essentially stole our facilities, which were not great to begin with. But the athletic department gave up our field event, our throwing facility, to the university, so the university could build a bubble, like an indoor bubble for intramural sports. And their remedy was that we were going to have to go down the road to Carnegie Mellon like 2 or 3 times a week to throw, and you got to throw a lot more than that. And that was the cap of the number of times. And we didn't know the coach that they were going to bring in, whether we were going to gel with him. They were jerking us around on scholarship money, making certain promises that were not kept.
Vague promises
that were not kept, and then putting it on us, the fact that we believed their promises, and that was our fault for believing them. And there was a whole lot going on there. And I think Chip leaving, and then all of us being so heavily embedded in that mindset of like, we're here for a reason. And I don't think one of us decided to leave. I think we all decided pretty much at the same time that, hey, like, we were going to leave. And
it's so funny because, like, I don't even know if it was like a decision, like, should we do this? It was just like,
I don't know how much we even thought about it. It was just like, okay, like, Chip's leaving. Like,
I can't stay.
We're leaving too.
It's like we can't stay. Which is ironic because we actually did sign a lease for a house.
We did.
This happened like really late into the season. Yeah. Like, I mean, it happened like April,
It was
May.
like April or May.
Yeah, but like we started asking for our release papers and whatnot. And but yeah, I mean, having to go and use someone else's facilities for training is like not something you want to do as a D1 athlete. And that, like,
well, at the time there was no guarantee that they were going to bring in a throws coach for us right away either, because there was a rumor that like we were going to be on our own, and they did a terrible job of communicating their intentions with us. And the fact, you only have 4 seasons to compete in college. You had already used 2 of yours. I had used my first, and with such a finite amount of time, you want to make it count. So I think that was a big part of it too, where it's like, okay, if they're not, I know what I want out of this, but they don't know what they want out of this. So we gotta go somewhere where they do know.
And in general, I was like, all right, so you guys are going to pick a throws coach, or I can go pick. You guys are going to pick one throws coach, so we have just the possibility of the people that are available. Or
we're not going to be consulted about it either. They're just going to bring somebody in.
Yeah, they said they would, but they
never did.
They wouldn't take it. And or I can go out and I can pick the coach that I want to go to. So that's what we did. It's like, okay, we had to go back on the market and like talk to people, and so yeah.
I do think from time to time, I'm sure if we stayed, we would have made it work and we would have been successful.
Absolutely, of course.
And there's an alternate reality, because I'll tell you, like, I had an unbelievable time at Iowa State, my last 3 years, and living there for 2 more. But I didn't make friends at Iowa State the way that I did at Pitt. And there's just something about that first group that you have when you're in college, and like you and all of our teammates, and the runners that we were friendly with, and everybody, my floor mates, like, those were like my college friends. And I've stayed in contact with so many of them, but it would have been nice to have had those next 3 years in that group, and certainly living together. But our lives would have looked so different had we stayed there. I don't know where I would be. I don't know what I would be doing for employment now. It's interesting to think about, and there's a fascinating thing. You make decisions when you're a teenager about a lot of things without putting too much thought into it. It's just kind of, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to study this. I'm going to change schools. I'm going to do this sport. I'm not going to do this sport. And the reverberations throughout the rest of your life, they really do last forever. And I mean, my life would look entirely different had I stayed at Pitt. And who's to say whether it was better or worse? And it doesn't even matter if it's better or worse. It's just different. But yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, like, I mean, I made good friends at Kentucky, and I know you made good friends at Iowa State, but it was like only the immediate like throws group and people that I interacted with like every day. Where at Pitt, like, if I would have stayed 4 years, like, I would have had a much stronger relationship with other teams in the department, other events in the track and field department. Like, we were getting close with the distance and certain stuff. And I almost got that when I went to Kentucky, but like the connections with the group that I wasn't immediately involved with was not as strong. And there was something about like coming in, all be like I always said, like, you know, you're a freshman, you meet another freshman, it's like, hey, you're new here, I'm new here, let's be friends. And then when I went to the next place, I was, you know, I just turned 21, so everybody seemed younger, even though they weren't, or they weren't that much younger. So there's just a little bit of a barrier for whatever reason. So I think going through life, if you both get somewhere at the same time and you can both start your journey at the same time, it's a lot easier to be like it's just shared experience. Where somebody has like, you know, more experience or whatever right away, it's like, there's like an unknown or an
I'll tell you too,
barrier.
Having only been at Pitt for 1 year, in my memory has completely and utterly elevated the impact of that year, and has, I would say, elevated the nostalgic aspect of looking back to it, because it was such a short period of time. I mean, shoot, I only lived there for 9 months or for 8 months or however long it was. And, you know, how formative those 8 months were. I mean, what's 8 months? That's like 32 weeks, 34 weeks. It's not a long period of time. You know, it's almost been 30 weeks since we've done the last Q&A, you know? And it's just a jam-packed period of my life that I'm grateful for. And it served as a bedrock for a lot of what I do now and who I am now. And certainly the people that have made me who I am, I met a lot of them there, including you. So that's kind of why we left.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that it happened in 2014 and not in 2024, that we had a year together, you know.
I'll tell you, man, we hit the jackpot, I think, in terms of the time that we went to college. You know, we had the internet, but it wasn't what it is now. We didn't have to do COVID college.
I really think that we hit the sweet spot as a generation, being in between the boom, you know, I guess
like the late millennial era, after Gen X.
We have internet, so we have internet when we grew up. But it wasn't too much. This and that. Like the games and everything was just really
for good. AI too, with education. Like we did it the old fashioned way, man. We jammed our studying. We did Quizlet, all that shit on the internet. Oh man. Yeah. It was a good time. Those were some good days. And you know, now it's 12 years in the rear view, 11 years in the rear view, which is kind of wild. So that's the dish on why we left.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
And we love talking about it.
Yeah, we do.
Hopefully you guys like listening.
Absolutely. And
hiccups.
He's got the hiccups. Well, I think we're an hour and 10 minutes into this episode, so I think that's probably a good question to end on.
Last question.
Last question here.
Top 3 beers I saw. They said 5, but give us three drinkers. You go into the station, you got your boys at the house, and you need to bring back the good stuff.
Narragansett beer,
nice.
Miller High Life, unequivocally, and I only need 2. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm interested in.
High Life is totally...
Oh, Guinness as well, obviously. Yeah, some creamers.
Yeah. Guinness, I'm like, you know, I like them on tap. I know sometimes I don't want to maybe mess with the cans. Like just, I won't order it if it's not coming from the tap. Yeah. I'm definitely a Miller High Life for the light beer.
Yep.
I do like Miller
Guinness
Light.
From October to the end of March, and then High Life the rest of the way, spring, summer, and early fall.
Yes. So good. Light beer is so back. I mean, never went anywhere, but big light beer guy. I like, Yingling. I'll use Yingling as my
Yings are good. Rolling Rock here and there, perhaps.
Oh yeah.
Pabst Blue Ribbon had a big moment back in the day. That was my first favorite beer way back when we were at Pitt together, and still. That's what I'll order if I go to a concert. I'll get
cheap
PBR
can,
Tall Boy cheap can. It's iconic and it looks good in your hand too. And why do we do anything?
Marketable.
It's to look good and to be perceived. So that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Awesome.
That's great. Well, we'd like to thank everybody for listening. We'd especially like to thank our producer Drew McFadden, a fellow Pitt brother, and that's the other. It would have been great to have spent more time with Drew in Pittsburgh. That would have been cool. He was one of the first people that I met when I visited Pitt, as I've told the story here a few times. I met you, and then I met Chip, and then I met Drew McFadden. So here we are, many, many years later.
Yeah,
Crazy.
It's amazing. Yeah, thank you, Drew, for all the help. Give me a call. Give me a call back if you hear this.
Absolutely.
Tried to call him last night. Didn't get to him. Saturday night, so whatever.
Hell yeah. All right, Ethan, let's get out of here. But before we do, let's get some songs of the week into the record here. Do you have one, or do you want me to lead off? I'll get on
You go
base.
first. Let me take a quick look.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will start with a song from a band, the Menzingers. I really, really like them. They're, once again, another Philadelphia pop punk band, but they're coming out with a record this summertime release, July 17th. It's called Everything I Ever Saw. But I'm going to go back to their record from 2017 called After the Party. And I'm going to pick the song After the Party from the Menzingers. It's just really great. I listened to the 2 singles that they put out from their forthcoming record, and I've just been listening to all of their albums the last few days, and that's a really, really great song. So I'll put it down for my song of the week.
That's great.
That's what we got.
So you post them in the Menzinger zone.
That's great. I was locked in last night.
So for me, it's summertime. We're getting jam bands are coming back out, and it's funny. I saw a video of a bunch of older group of gentlemen, not like too old, like in their 50s, but they were all singing a cappella. They were singing the Grateful Dead song "Black Muddy River."
Oh man, yeah.
And I put it on. It's such a great song, and it's really enjoyable to play at this time. Just great vocals throughout the whole thing. So
that's a winner.
Black Muddy River.
Hell yeah.
Rock and roll. Thank you everybody again for listening. We got another episode coming next week. Get back into some more specific music genre content. But thank you for spending time with us today and hearing us talk about a bunch of various different things. And congratulations to the Philadelphia Sixers for beating the Boston
76ers.
Celtics.
I'll tell you, I didn't watch a lick of the series, but Boston blew a 3-1 lead, which is crazy. And I heard they couldn't make a 3-pointer for shit.
They were going to live and die by the 3. That's what they did all year, and they were just jacking them up. I think that if they would have got a few better looks for 3, they would have been fine. But they were firing it all over the place. Dude, so
just blasting away.
The Sixers were 0-18 in being down 1-3, and the Celtics were 32-0 being up 3-1. So historic win and loss for both of them.
Well, especially too as far as their
it doesn't happen much.
I mean, over the last 10 years, they've played one another in the early rounds of the playoffs, like for the 3 or 4 times, and I don't think Philly's ever beat them. So
Sixers needed this one. Yeah. We earned it. So we'll see how far we go. Our team, they definitely they got up for Boston for the second half. So we'll see if they have any energy left.
Yeah. So C's are out, Bruins are out. Alex Cora is out as manager of the Red Sox. Rob Thompson's out as manager of the Phillies.
Vrabel's hurting.
Vrabel's hurt. Everybody's hurt. And the Flyers got their teeth kicked in by the Hurricanes in game 1 of the semis and Eastern Conference semis. So see what happens.
See what happens, exactly. That's why we got to play the game,
Gotta play the games. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Rock and roll, everybody.
Stay heavy. Hanser.